How you guys all doing today? Hopefully you guys are doing all right. I'm gonna do another video here today covering some more Vader, and also we got a new change to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren's AI, and this change stomps and it just stops in its tracks the fives counter. So it's kind of unfortunate. It really is, because now this kind of makes Kylo a lot harder to counter. There's a couple ways to still counter him. One of which is with a new Luke, the Jedi Luke, and also I think there's a counter with Vader, and we'll have to see here and how it goes, because it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to this change. But before we get into it all, I just want to show this little fun video. Look at this: 1v1 Vader versus Luke. Who would win? Who would win? It's a lot of fun. So yeah, this is I did my last video. It was Relic 3 Vader. And now, since then, holy cow, that's a big boy hit right there. You'd love to see it, 130k. But since then, my last video, I got my Vader up to Relic 5. And I would say that's probably, there we go, we just won. I would say Relic 5 Vader is a good threshold to hit for a lot of different uses in the game, especially now if you want to counter Rey's and Kylo's. So, that was a little 1v1 there I want to do. And shout out to Flash for, swapping in his one little Luke in the leadership. That was pretty cool of you, man. Thank you for letting me show that off. It was pretty fun. But okay, so today we want to talk about Luke counter to the fives. We want to talk about other counters. But before we go into that, I want to just bring up a little secret counter that didn't get shown up until a little bit ago. It was a counter to Kylo Ren, and this one was regarding fives and how you can abuse the AI, and it was actually with a General Kenobi leadership. And I was planning on using this one in my next stream for GAC, and we'll have to we probably could still, but we're gonna have to just see how it looks. So this is the counter here. Pretty much, it's pretty straightforward for the most part here. GK has his leadership, and his leadership provides a lot more defense and health for clones. And also, when you do the mass heal, you get called to assist here, which, we get a buff immunity onto Kylo. You can now focus on other people here. Anakin's really important here as well, for, these debuffs and his extra bonus turns that he will get a lot because of the people going back and I guess above and below that threshold of the 50% health, so he gets more bonus turns. And in this team as well, he maintains that extra offense with his bonus turns and makes it really just big damage from Anakin here. But like I said, the whole changes to Kylo makes none of this work anymore. They're going to change the AI of Kylo to not target fives anymore and go for somebody else. So I'm going to be kind of curious to see if this will still work or not. I don't think it will or not. I really doubt it would, because you still have to, you're going to have some brief moments here and there where you don't have a taunt on GK, and your fives is not going to have a taunt either. And, who else would he go for? They're probably going to go for a Barriss, because if you kill Barriss, you're going to lose too, because you need that extra heals on our unique. If you go for ARC Trooper, you lose a lot of damage. And same thing with Anakin. You lose Anakin, you're going to die, and he has no more debuffs. You can't stop the healing, and, no more damage output. But this is a counter that has been brought up over like last little bit. And this is a really good counter because it saves your Padme for a different team if you wanted to, which is not bad at all. But yeah, this is a little counter here to counter a Kylo Ren, but like I said, it won't last very long because they're going to fix this. So enough of this. We're going to win that for sure. So next up on the docket, let's go for some more fun here of just, okay, let's just say, okay, we can't counter anymore with the little fives AI cheese bug, right? Well, you still got Luke. We've shown this in my couple of videos ago, actually, of Luke when he was first to kind of people were playing around with him. This is the counter. Excuse me. This is the counter for a Kylo team using your Luke, and it's really cheap for cost effectiveness with the team. I know Luke's expensive. I know I maybe shouldn't have said that, but regarding everybody else here, you're not splitting up any more people. You have GK for your Padme still. You still have gas for the gas team, but you have to use Luke here because he is awesome in this counter. And this is the reason I said I knew it was going to happen. They were going to fix the AI of Kylo. It was going to happen sooner or later. And that's the one one reason why I did go and spend to get Luke, because I knew this was going to happen. And if this did happen, which I was assuming it would, I had to get a very, very safe and consistent counter to a Kylo Ren. Or else I just can't get past him. I don't like using my own GL in my GAC. I like to be able to counter them and then save my own GLs for defense. So this is why Luke is so important for me and my account and how I want to play around. So good. This counter is very, very consistent. Malix, I've seen this work versus Malix as well. More about GAC though, you're going to probably see more full first order teams. Maybe you're going to see a Malik in there every so often. It should still do the job pretty dang well. So that's one counter I want to show, and we've already seen that one beforehand. So what else? What else could we show here? Well, you have also a Palp versus a Kylo. This one is a bit, it's Palp and Vader. It's a bit more wonky. Keep in mind that this really doesn't do much. Let's just say this really quickly. It doesn't really work, I guess you could say, if it's a full first order team or if Malik is placed in between. I guess you can have some workarounds for the Malik, but when it's a full first order, good luck trying to beat that, because you're going to have a Hux team, or I mean rather a full first order with Hux's Zeta there, which stops all TM gain, and the turn meter you get from the weapon tech will be no more. And that's a pretty huge thing here, so you can cycle back to your turns over and over and over again. So, well, we're not fighting a full first order in this one, but let's see how it kind of rocks and rolls. So we're going to get that little thing there. And how you want to use an EP, this is actually a really, really good counter if you don't even want to use, you don't have to use Watt, Thrawn, or GBA. You can, use some other Empire with EP and Vader, as EP as being the leadership. And that can counter Grievous's, and now it can actually counter Padme's, which is huge. But in this one, you can actually use the Force Crush first, because you get a bonus turn pretty much from the TM you get from the debuffs. And again, you won't be able to beat this, because if there was a full first order Hux's TM, stopping the TM would just crush you. You wouldn't get any more TM, you wouldn't get any extra turns. But in this one, it would work because there is no full first order here, so you're good to go. And like I said regarding the Padme and Grievous, I kind of want to see and test out myself with that counter to make it the most reliable, the most consistent, with hopefully getting high banners versus those teams, because I have been seeing a lot more stronger of a Padme being set on defenses in my GAC, and kind of with Grievous as well. And I really want to, I want to have an additional Padme or Grievous counter, because if I can, that would be huge. It really would. Because if you're thinking about it in this way, if you can counter those Padmes and those Grievouses, you can still save your Darth Revan, your BSF to counter a Rey potentially, and then you can just use this versus one of these Padmes and Grievouses, which is great. Excuse me. But yeah. So again, we're kind of just cycling back and forth through our turns, hitting all the people with Merciless Target, getting that turn meter back. Pretty good to see here. Just talking about countering a Kylo, and I guess a Rey for both GLs. First and foremost, is it going to get nerfed? I don't know, man. I don't know. This is kind of giving me some flashbacks to Padme, and when Padme was released right after Malik. I know this is a rework, but I still feel like those are kind of the vibes I'm getting here. Okay, but where's the damage? I want to see these big numbers. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay, you got Merciless. Go target Kylo. One-shot him, baby. There we go. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I was just thinking, it's kind of feeling like, for me at least, it's more of like I don't know, like Malik coming in the game and then Padme coming soon after, and then they can counter each other. I'd rather Padme can counter the Malik. But like I said, this is a rework. I don't know if they want to fix this. Maybe this wasn't intended, or maybe it was. I don't know. But before we get into more, you can definitely stop these Vaders from countering you. There's a lot of different ways. It's kind of similar to the 2v5 with Gas versus the Kylo when that got nerfed recently. It's a very similar kind of situation there in case, because there was a lot of different ways you can stop that 2v5 versus your the Gas counter to the Kylo. In same case here, you can stop Vader from countering your GLs with a few tweaks here and there. For example, with the Rey, just modding Rey for a lot of tenacity Tossing a Malik there also does the job pretty dang well. And having a really fast resistance hero, Finn and Poe. That is some really great ways to stop that counter. Also, Watt's pretty good there on defense. I was having some struggles beating a Watt team just recently. It can be doable, but it's a bit more rough around the edges, which I don't like. I like more consistent, easy wins. Also, for the Kylo teams, pretty much, just slap in a full first order. You don't get any of the TM capabilities from the weapon tech. And also, Malik is really annoying to fight there as well. So, a couple ways. You can still stop the Vader counter if you want to. But we'll have to see if they're going to do anything about it. So, continuing on here with the video. So, this is another Vader counter to a Rey. I just want to show this one because this one's a pretty annoying one to fight as well at times. This one, of course, does not have high tenacity at all. But it's really good to see IPD getting some really big use here. IPD gets some more turn meter whenever an Empire ally goes. He gets like 3% turn meter, I think. So what's really nice about here in this counter is that you can have a pretty fast Thrawn with an okay fast IPD, and you can get the TM swap going first, do the buff dispel with IPD. We just saw this in my previous video. You get the target locks. They can't get any more buffs if you have the Zeta, and then you can just kind of pick apart who you want. There you go. Big boy hit there on the Malik, which is awesome. And then, after you get Malik out of here, in this counter at least, you kind of want to focus on a Rey, Fracture Rey, kind of control the other guys here. L3 can potentially get their taunt back when you don't want that to happen. So kind of hitting these other guys, hopefully you get the TMR, and hopefully you get the ability blocks. And I think you actually, while they have Inspire, I think it's in the leadership of the Rey, or Unique, I think it's a Unique, they are immune to TMR. So it's kind of unfortunate that we couldn't handle it soon enough, but you can earlier on get more of the TMR on themselves when they don't have those buffs to Inspire. And there you go, 200k crit onto the Rey, not bad at all. Now it's just Finn and Poe there, and an L3 of course. Getting these crazy fast turns here, big boy damage, just Poe left. And you still have a couple guys left. It's not bad. And like I said, this is a really strong team on defense because you got the two taunts there with a Malik. Malik also stops some of the Sith's TM gain, which is pretty annoying. And also L3 has her taunt. That's kind of like a pseudo taunt, I guess you could say. So we easily win this one after you can kill Rey. Like in all of these, you can, right? So that's that one. Let me show you one more because this one is bit more tricky. So this one is from Wiggins Bog. I want to show this one. It's a good video. A good shout out to Wiggins Bog. If you guys want to go check him out, go feel free to. I'll probably link him down below if I can remember. But in this one, it's kind of like a similar one here, but it's on a full first order again, right? So we can still work around it. I actually haven't seen anybody use a full first order at all yet. And see people using Vader because it just wouldn't work, right? It just doesn't have any TM. You just stop the TM gain. But so in this one, you got to deal with Watt. Watt's pretty annoying. He's pretty annoying. He gets that tank tech out. And in this one as well, I was not able, for me at least, to last as long as he has here with his Vader because my Vader isn't as tanky enough. And if you die to an AoE, well, then your Vader's dead and you lose. So I think that, like in all around uses, if you want to talk about regarding this counter and so on and so forth, and regarding Vader in this counter, I would say shoot for a Relic 5 Vader. It's like the minimum I would say for like the safest hits for one-shotting people. At Relic 3, I did show in my last video the best clips for like beating them, but there was a few times where I just couldn't win because I didn't get enough damage. It was like putting Rey into the red or putting Kylo into the red. So I would say shoot for a Relic 5 Vader so you don't have that issue anymore, right? That way you can just one-shot him without any issue. So here we go. I think we're going to get more Merciless Massacre on here, on the Vader. At least I would here. I would, so you get more damage. Let's see what Wiggins does. Culling Blade is thinking about it. He is thinking about that Culling Blade. He's going to do it. Oh, you did it. Personally, I would have done the Merciless Massacre to get some more offense, but it's okay. I think he'll get back to it soon enough. Because if you did not know, the Culling Blade is on a less of a turn cooldown than the Force Crush. I think the Force Crush is on a 5-turn cooldown, and the Blade's on a 4-turn, which is pretty good. Regarding actually all these turns you're going to be getting and cycling back to, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean this whole Kylo counter, I would say now that they just fixed the fives issue, the cheese there. I guess you could use, like in arenas, you can probably use this still. We're going to have to wait and see if they have anything to say about Vader and what they are going to do about him. With, you know, just how he works and one-shots these GLs and just characters in the game as a whole. You know, if they do fix that, well, what is there left to use? I think you can still use the Jedi counter as well. There's some variations where you can use the Darth Revan counter, but you need a lot higher relics and really good mods, which is kind of annoying. But like I said, there are so many different things you can do with your GLs to mod them, and just toss in some specific characters to just make the counters just not happen anymore, which is just one thing I feel like I don't know if they're going to fix all of this, because there's just so many different ways of just stopping everything in this game for counters, and especially even more so with the GLs. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Cheese from the fives, it's now gone. Thank heavens, right? I guess if you guys are, you know, happy about that, that's good for you. Personally, for me, I'll be okay because I did get my Luke. I'm going to work on him getting that counter up and going. But let me know down below what you guys think about the reworks for Vader. Are they going to fix it and nerf it or not? Personally, I'm not too sure. I'm leaning more towards no, they won't. They're going to leave it and let it be for a little bit. See what more guys we get down the line with these different factions, Rebels and Empire. See how it kind of functions there, and then they can do something about it. But until then, I don't know. And also, I mean, that's probably it for the video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel if you guys are new here. We have a Patreon and a Discord down below in the description if you guys want to go check out those two things. Thanks for watching it again, guys, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.